Here at Lazy Dad's HQ, we pride ourselves on running a family show. However, from time to time, we let slip a couple of swear words. So, if you have any kids in the car, please open the car door, drop them off the side of the road, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Welcome to the Lazy Dad's Guide to Movies. We got a real packed show lined up for y'all, so why don't you just come on and join us? We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about TV shows. We're going to talk about life. So why don't you all buy a ticket and jump on the train?
I hate that. Insert theme song here. Lazy Dad, Lazy Dad, Lazy Dad, Lazy Dad.
Welcome back to the Lazy Dad's Guide to Movies with me and him.
Lock up your daughters and mothers.
And
various farm animals.
Well, that's for you, in fairness.
Exactly. Well, I wasn't pointing at you. It's
you're just like
100% for me.
It's a thing to behold, in fairness.
It is.
About 74 gigs of filmed footage of you and animals at home.
I love a good zoo brothel.
So we've broken our 1,000 listens.
Yeah, and now we're going all out to offend everyone.
So we hit over 1,000 listens there last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't even think I've heard my own voice 1,000 times.
Yeah, well, we're doing well, and here's to 10,000 views this time next year. I've said it on the air, so
yeah, we have to do
it. But I'm going to jump straight into it. I watched loads of films. Well, I watched a good few films. One that's a little bit left field for me. You know, when I want to escape into something, my escapism is typically sci-fi and horror movies.
Yeah.
Well, on the recommendation of our good friend Kev Shields.
He's now competition, or soon to be competition.
Kev Shields cracked reel. Kev Shields cracked reel. He's planning on doing his own podcast.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that.
Don't listen.
But don't listen to him.
Yeah.
But do listen to him because he's kind of cool. But don't listen to him.
I like him.
But don't.
Yeah.
But he recommended he recommended both of us watch actually Marriage Story.
Oh yeah.
I hate the name.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate the name. Although it is typically the film is a story of marriage, the name is just I don't know.
Well, what would you call it?
Excuse me, Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver being absolutely amazing.
Well, what would you call
the movie?
Oh right. Adam Driver does it again.
But yeah, typically I want to escape into sci-fi and horror movies and then westerners and war films before I ever go anywhere near a drama. But I just felt in the mood for one there the other day, and it's on Netflix. So sorry, my nose is itchy, that's the problem. Yeah. It's on Netflix and they stuck it on, and it's one of them films that's acted and written and directed so well that it's like watching, it's almost like being a fly on the wall to an actual real life kind of progression of this story, which I suppose Marriage Story. And as adults who are married and with families and stuff, it's unbelievely relatable. Like what they go through, the arguments that they have,
does she walk in him taking a shit and stuff?
Absolutely. There's so many moments in it where you just kind of find yourself going, Jesus, that's me. I've been there. I've done that. Yeah. You know, really, really realistic. It's funny, it's hilarious, and it's absolutely heartbreaking.
A bit like my life.
And I genuinely cried at it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a little tear by the end. Yeah.
I'll check it out. I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty good. It's on Netflix, so there's no cost other than most people have Netflix these days, so just slap it on. It's just over 2 hours.
Okay.
But every single shot, frame, moment is just acted and directed impeccably.
There's a film I want to talk about in a few minutes.
It's photographed beautifully as well.
That doesn't look great, that I watched last night. I'll talk about it in a few minutes. On the other side of that scale, I watched John Wick 3.
Parabellum. Parabellum I think means prepare for war or something
like that. Yeah, some Latin fucking nonsense. It should just call it John Wick 3.
John Wick 3. Yeah, I agree.
John Wickest.
What did you think of it?
It wasn't as good as either of the other two. The bit in Morocco just dragged for me. I didn't like that bit where they went to Morocco.
Yeah.
And first of all, it wasn't Casablanca, which definitely threw me off. It was a place I was last year. And you only see somewhere you wear, and they're saying, "Oh, it's Casablanca." It's like it's not. Just call it what it is.
Yeah, but no, you're right. But if somebody says like I went to Grafton Street in Dublin City, if an American comes and visits Grafton Street in Dublin City Centre, and then goes home and tells his folks like, "Oh, I visited Dublin City Centre," and then they watch a film set in Talbot Street, they'll be going, "Oh, that's not Dublin City Centre."
No, but this is a different city.
It fucking is.
No, this is a different city completely. Like right. it's like saying the same distance between, say, Dublin and London. Saying, oh yeah, I was in Dublin, but I was actually in London.
That sort of stuff wouldn't throw me off all that, because it's not designed to be an accurate film.
No, it's only places you know. And there's another time I saw it. I don't know if you watched that program Love Hate, did you?
Yeah, like Love Hate.
Yeah, you know the scene where Brendan Gleeson's son shoots himself in the head accidentally. Oof. It's in the first season.
It's been a long time since
anyway,
I watched it.
Yeah, but he shoots himself in the head. Remember where I used to live, just down the road here? You can actually see my house in the background. So they're driving past my old house.
Right.
When your man shoots himself in the head, and then they pull over at the fucking Red Cow roundabout, which is about fucking 20 minutes drive on a good day, you know? It could be 2 hours when the traffic's bad. So that sort of stuff just annoys me for no reason, just because I'm a picky cunt. That's all. Well,
you should definitely drop your pickiness when it comes to films like John Wick. But what annoyed me about John Wick, and talking about being picky, it's like the first and the second one. I love the first one. The second one was great fun. What I liked most of the first one was that revenge aspect of it was cool.
Yeah.
John Wick 2, the revenge is done by John Wick 2, and now it's people are after him.
Yeah.
And John Wick 3, it's just obviously all the fucking bounty hunters, whatever the hell they are, all chasing them down, the hitmen. But the one thing that's really just really is starting to bore me with it is how many people run at John Wick with guns.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's just gotten silly,
so many
you know.
headshots.
But they're running at him. Like, they have a machine gun and they run at him and then stop to try and shoot with an arm's reach so he can batter them and then shoot them. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just... I know that's a really picky thing, but it's just been so much.
It lacks
so much of it.
It lacks the world building of the first one, and this is going to sound stupid in the context of John Wick, the almost realism of the first one. Or the world building of the second one, rather, and the almost realism of the first one. Like, they've just upped the fucking comic book violence completely.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but there's
it's not bad.
It's not bad. And your man is
fun.
fucking brilliant.
I tell you one thing.
Is it?
The colour. Who?
Mark Dukakis, is that his name?
That rings a bell. Who was he in the film?
The assassin who's preparing sushi.
Oh no, I didn't like him.
Did you
I thought his character was really weak. He looked great. Yeah. He looks the business actually. But then he starts talking, he sounds like a dope.
No, I like that. I was like, John, I'm such your biggest fan, and it fits in with that stupid world they've created.
Yeah, probably. But I can take any amount of stupidity as long as I'm thrilled, but the thrill was starting to lose it for me. I think because there's only, as I said, there's another one running from cover with a heavy machine gun toward John, and John upends him with a few slaps and then shoots him in the head. And you go, okay, there's another one.
Do you know what's a bit like, and this only springs to mind now because it's actually free on the PlayStation, is most of the Uncharted games. Do you ever play that?
Yeah, it's kind of like all the baddies have the AI of the baddies in the Uncharted games.
Yeah. But it's like the first. It's like the first Uncharted game is you're in a shootout, you run a bit more, you're in another shootout.
Honestly, I didn't find nothing wrong with that.
No, don't get me wrong.
It was done so well.
I love all four of them, but the Uncharted games
I know what you're getting at. Yeah.
Kind of progress. Like the second one was a bit more detailed, and then I think by the fourth one, where you're kind of doing stealth most of the time, it kind of changes it up a bit. But John Wick is just like, run here, get in a shootout. Fly over here, get in a shootout.
And that's the thing about, like, it's a good comparison actually, even though it's two different mediums. But the thing that progresses you Uncharted beyond the fact that we're actually playing it and are engaged in it is the plot lines of the Uncharted games have always been great.
Yeah, it's true.
The plot line of John Wick 3 is a bit farty, like,
Yeah, that's where it fell down for me. As I said, the second one I loved. It's actually my favourite of three of them because it does all the world building.
Yeah.
And he's in there and he's given the coins and these assassins, and it's almost like there's no consequences in this world. Which I love.
The couple of things I did love when he got the horse to kick your
that was fucking hilarious. That's the best horse-based action scene since True Lies.
Since Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I'll have you know.
No.
Yes.
True Lies was after Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
You said it's the best horse action movie since
True Lies. You remember True Lies? We chased them with the fucking horse.
No, you're missing the point. That
the other one's better.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I accept your opinion. The fact that it's wrong.
Funny enough, actually, going off on a tangent here, I was watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade there recently, and I was watching it with the young lad, and we were having great crack watching it. And I was watching the whole end sequence where, like, there's an entire, like, battalion of German troops with machine guns, a tank, and they're all in these open back kind of trucks. There's about 3 or 4 trucks, and there's a couple of Kubel wagons, and then there's another kind of staff car driving around with German soldiers in it. And none of them can hit Indy on a horse, like, it's just, but like, I don't mind that. I'm totally in for it. Like, I love it, it's great fun. But like, what gets me is, like, people are absolutely willing to accept that. People of our age are willing to accept that because we saw it when we were kids, I suppose. but not willing to accept it anymore, and you tear something like The King of the Christmas Skull apart, or an equivalent type film that we tear because we just don't have a nostalgia link to it. But
okay, right, I'm going to talk about King of the Crystal Skull here. I remember watching it. I've only seen it once now and I didn't enjoy it. I will go back and watch it again.
Definitely.
But I just don't think it's not as good as the other three. I think you can...
It's better than Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom is the best one.
No, it's not.
Temple of Doom is the best one.
It's whole Raiders is the best one.
Temple of Doom is
followed
the best one.
closely, very closely by Last Crusade.
Temple of Doom is the
then
best
Then King of Crystal Skull, and then fucking...
Yeah.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom was the best one.
Short round, fucking battered like big burly men with fucking swords and shit.
We fucking vetoed him or fucking.
Did we veto Short round?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Embargoed. That's the word I'm looking for.
Embargoed him. I don't remember. Look.
Yeah,
we did, didn't we? Yeah. This is going way back in the.
Yeah, I feel we can have an open discussion.
This year feels like it's been 20 years. Yeah. It's like 20 years ago we were talking about Short Round.
I'm not going to defend Short Round. He's kind of like the Ewoks of the Indiana Jones universe, but I'm willing to overlook him because it's easy because he's short. Yeah,
no, to me Temple of Doom's great crack. I love Temple, and in fact, actually, I loved the horror aspect of Temple of Doom, with your man Kalima pulling the heart out, the young cuff version you actually see his fingers going in and pulling the heart out. But then when he gets when he falls into the river, the crocodiles in the end as well. I think it's the Nile, is it? Is it the Nile? Is it Egypt? No, it's India, isn't it?
It's India somewhere, yeah.
Anyway, when he falls into probably Ganges, and he falls into the river and gets eaten. But the crocodiles.
See, they filmed that down at the Liffey, so I wasn't happy with that.
But now we're gone off track there. But John Wick, I enjoy John Wick 3, but that's about it.
It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, what I wanted to say about it, which I thought was stunning, was its photography was beautiful, like all the different colours and stuff, all the neon colours and everything.
Yeah,
it was really over the top, but it was great.
Yeah, but that's
I thought it looked great.
It fit in with the film being over the top. It's a bit. The second one did that as well, because remember the scene in Rome where he goes to the party in the second one and it's just fucking lasers and shit everywhere. Whereas the first one's a bit more kind of bathhouses and fucking warehouses and shit, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. It was fine. It wasn't as good as the other two, but and Halle Berry, the character was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, there was probably shag all need for it, really, was there? But I kind of liked the thing with the dogs. But get me if I missed something, Derek, if you can remember watching it. She has two dogs, and they both are totally and utterly trained to her command.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And then your man, what's his face?
Robson and/or Jerome.
Yes, shoots one of them. Shoots one of the dogs. You remember? And then 2 or 3 scenes later, when John Wick and you break out and start killing everybody, there's 2 dogs again.
Yeah, they were wearing bulletproof vests.
Oh, was that what it was? Yeah. I don't know what happened. Yeah. I must have farted or something.
No, it was one of those things where you're kind of supposed to know that they're wearing bulletproof vests.
All right, okay.
And I was kind of looking and going, what? I was exactly the same as you. So I thought that fucking dog was dead. And then you kind of look at it and he's wearing a vest, and then I think at one stage she's putting the bulletproof vests on the dogs, and John Wick says, "What's that?" "Oh, it's a bulletproof vest just in case you get shot by Robson and/or Jerome." So there you go. That's my review of John Wick 3.
Another film. I crossed the film off my absolute shame list. 2.5 stars from me. Would be a 2.5.
You say I can't give
how knobbish are we to give stars to films? I was only thinking about that the other day. Some dope put up a bleeding like half-arse review of a film there the other day and gave it like 3.75 stars out of 4. I was like, what are you doing? Who are you? Who are you?
The only thing I give stars to is if Kev Shields doesn't like something, I'm instantly onto IMDb. 10 stars. 10 stars. What was those 2 films you watched? The Collection and The Collector.
Between you and me, though, he is a good judgment of films, though, in fairness.
He is, except for The Collection.
Just don't let him know, though. Don't let him know. Yeah. He didn't like the first one, was it? Or he liked the first one?
No, he didn't like either of them.
I didn't see the sequel. I liked the first one.
Yeah, I watched the 2 of them. I remember sitting down to watch them. I'm fucked if I can remember anything else. I remember
film for a tenner.
I remember the alternative ending to the first one where your man looks up at the kid in the window and fucks off. That's all I remember.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't even know. Excuse me. I crossed the film at my shame list.
Yeah.
Big shame list for this one. And do you know, I'll tell you why I crossed it off now in a minute. And this might be a very unpopular opinion. I could even have a couple of people giving out to me over this, but hells on fucking Trevor. Videodrome.
Videodrome?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it years ago and not thinking a whole pile of it, but come on.
I loved Videodrome. I really, really liked it, I have to say. First of all, the practical effects have that lovely charm to them. They've aged, but they're still cool. And they're mad. They're really over the top as well, which is really cool. But no, but the storyline I thought was great. There is layers to that film. I want to watch it again to go through it again. But it's funny, it got me thinking about why I never watched it, bother watching it. Arrow Video released a lovely box set of it there as well, gone back maybe 2 years or so, maybe a year and a half ago. That's completely sold out. It's cost like £140-120 to buy it on eBay now at this stage. But
does it come in a video?
I'm not. It's one that I'll put on my hunt list, but I won't be spending anything like that in it. But I was thinking it's because of Cronenberg.
Mm-hmm.
He done a few films that people seem to absolutely love. One being The Brood. Did you ever see The Brood?
No.
I'm not a big fan of The Brood. And then he done another one. Oh my god, I'm forgetting about his films.
The Fly.
No, The Fly was great.
Yeah.
The Fly was superb. Existenz was a bit. That's really badly aged.
I've seen that, but again, I don't remember anything about it, which is not a good sign.
But yeah, I never really held him in any kind of high regard. Like he's mad into like the body horror. The whole thing about The Brood was like giving birth to like these deformed babies and like they're being experimented on, all sorts of shit like that.
I think if you fall into
body horror is what you
no, like he seems to be one of those directors. I could be wrong here because I haven't seen all his films, so I'm only just making a uneducated guess here. He seems to be one of those directors where kind of his films almost follow the same kind of pattern, where he looks at the same themes, like you say, body horror, you know, The Fly, obviously, video drama and stuff like that. Again, I could be way off, but
it's mainly the body horror ones I'm not a big fan of. Like the I'll tell you, I'm just looking up here now.
Apart from The Fly, obviously,
he's done a couple of great films. But just looking up here, 2 seconds, it's just loading.
Yeah.
Director, he's directed 42 films in fairness to him.
It's 41 more than I've directed.
But yeah, here's like Rabbit was the other one. Rabbit and Shivers. I wasn't mad in those either. And you know, it's funny. Maybe I need to rewatch Shivers again because I don't really remember all that much. But I definitely didn't like Rabbit. Didn't like The Brood. Love Scanners. Now I love Videodrome. Dead Zone's good fun. The Fly is amazing.
Oh, I like the Dead Zone. Yeah,
The Fly is amazing. Naked Lunch I wasn't a big fan of. I never saw Crash. Did you see Crash?
Is that the one where he fucks her in the leg, the hole in her leg?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched up to that point. Went not for me. Thanks.
Existenz, it's a bit. History of Violence class and Eastern Promises.
Oh yeah, they're great films actually.
Yeah, they're really good.
So I'm completely wrong in my body horror thing. They are certainly not body horror.
No. He did have a focus of body horror, like, you know, Shivers, Rabid, and The Brood were body horror movies, and so was Videodrome to an extent.
Yeah, but
and so was Existenz actually.
My thing was that was all he focused on, but I forgot that he directed those other 2 films, so they are so far from body horror.
Yeah, so it's just his early stuff. Like, I just kind of poo-pooed it, but when I watched Videodrome, I was like, Jesus fucking, it was really good. I really enjoyed
James
it.
Woods.
James Woods, he's superb.
What a hero. What a legend.
He's
Have you seen
absolutely
Bestseller yet?
No, not yet.
Check that out. That's James Woods' finest role for me. Bestseller.
Well, Videodrome, it's out on Netflix, and it's a lovely HD printer of it that they're streaming on Netflix, so definitely worth another look. I'm going to be watching it again to try and, because there is layers to it. It's one of those like kind of Total Recall films where you're wondering what's actually going on, what's really going on.
Yeah, but if I have to do something like that, fuck that. I'd rather watch Commando.
Nah,
so many layers to
you don't need to watch Commando anymore. It's done.
It's not done.
It is done.
There's so much more to that film.
But you see, they're releasing they found the extended cut with an extra 13 minutes in it.
Fuck off.
Yeah, not money joking.
Oh damn. It's just more roses exploding.
Yes.
I watched. I don't know. Did I mention this last week? I watched Hereditary.
Oh, you watched? Oh, you did, yeah. No, I'm telling you, Lois, you were talking about it in the WhatsApp group we have there recently.
Oh, right. So you didn't mention it off there.
It's superb, isn't it?
It's really good. Yeah, like really, really good. It's like,
it's so unnerving, isn't it? The way it's filmed. It's real. Like even the weird young with the weird face. I know, like she like the way it's done, but the way she keeps like, you know, that clocking sound. And the more you think about stuff, the more you start pairing it together. Where the demon had possessed her, and that's why she was doing that.
Yeah.
And then when it possessed your man, you done that as well. And I thought it's very. There's so many. I love a film that like leaves it a lot of the plot up to you to piece together.
Yeah.
It's not obvious, not in your face. And I thought that was superb.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. Unnerving, like a good horror film.
Really good horror. No, I'd argue and say it's a very original horror. I've never seen a horror film like that before.
It doesn't follow any tropes.
That's the thing.
So there's no any tropes.
It's setting its own ones, like, you know.
Yeah,
like the way it's done. There's no like dramatic soundtrack when you see her hanging in the ceiling up in the corner. Like, you know, it's just there she is.
There's no jump scares.
And it's like she scutters off along the ceiling, and there's no sound effect. There's no soundtrack. There's no nothing. And there's like tragic moments in it when, like, Gabriel Byrne, you could see was
he's so fucking good in that.
He was amazing in it, and he was really like just the nice dad trying to keep everything together, like, and it was just slowly unraveling in his hands.
I was saying it to the missus there, in a poor horror film, it would turn out that he is the instigator of all this, where he's pretending to be this nice dad, and then he turns out he's the head of the cult in a poor horror film.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
in a cliched fucking.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Mrs. Voorhees reveal. Oh, Mrs. Voorhees. What other fucking film I think? It doesn't matter anyway. Just one of these reveals where it's like, oh yeah, it was him all along.
Yeah.
In a poor horror film. That's
but even it's mad the way the film is shot. Like they shoot it so that you feel the sympathy for the young one. And she goes out to the party. Then he's driving home and then whoop, head's chopped off, just like that.
Yeah.
Did it make you go holy fuck?
Yeah.
It did me too. Like, you know, that's how good that film is. Like, it's getting into it and making you react verbally, like, you know, physically sitting in your couch.
As my sister said,
I thought it was
that's
brilliant.
very irresponsible.
And then and then there's a shot then of a couple of scenes later where they go looking for the head, and there's the head with ants all over it, eating it and shit. Yeah. And you're going like, okay, so you felt sympathy for this poor girl, like, you know, who's suffering, like, you know, terribly at the hands of people and stuff because of her deformity and that. And then they chop her fucking head off, like, you know, and then you feel really bad then. And then you start to feel for the young fella who you can see is completely destroyed by this. And then the poor old dad then, like, you know, trying to be the strong one, trying to keep it all together. And so much so that you actually start to think that the mother is going off the deep end. But it turns out she's fucking not, like, you know, she's actually, you know, being converted or being influenced. And then the bit then where the young fella then... he runs up the attic to get away from his ma. Do you remember? She's fucking banging the head on the fucking...
Yes, deadly.
Oh, it's insane. And then he hears a... There she's cutting her own foot, and he runs down into the stair, and then he turns around and there's the naked person standing on the door smiling and waving at him. I was like, what am I watching? This is crazy. And then the way the fucking headless mother body moves, the way it's like as if it's on strings or something, but it's not, and then goes up into the treehouse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's insane.
It's a great film. Actually, just by coincidence, earlier on that evening, I'd watched another film with the kids with that same young fella in it.
The Exorcist.
No, I
same film with the kids.
No, you know,
I slapped on the things with the kids. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny when I got The Exorcist 3. It's sitting on top of the kids' movies, and the young fella says to me, "Why is that in with the kids' movies?" And I said, "It is a kids' movie, obviously." I watched that as well. It's great. I know you spoke about it.
Yeah, it's superb. The Arrow. I have to just shout out that the Arrow release. Certainly for UK and Europe, because the Americans have the Shell Factory one, but the Arrow release of The Exorcist 3 has the theatrical and the what's it called?
Legion.
The Legion cut. And it's a superb remaster. It's a lovely package. It's relatively cheap. If anybody really wants to indulge in that film, and they should because it's a great film, that's one to pick up.
Just expect it to be delivered late. That's just my little dig in there for everything on my order or something.
It wasn't delivered late for me.
Yeah, well, you see, there you go, 50-50. You know, 50% chance can be delivered late. But anywho, I watched Jumanji.
Which one?
Not the new one. The prequel to the new one that just came out. Was it Welcome to the Jungle, is it?
This is... Okay, so there's 3 Jumanji films.
So not the original one with Robin Williams.
And not the new one.
Not the new one. The one
okay, so I've seen that one.
With the Rock.
Yeah, it's superb.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's superb.
It's actually better than the original.
They've done a fantastic job. Yeah.
I haven't seen the new one now, but shit, that's so fucking good.
Yeah,
it's fuck great. Me, The Rock's a great actor.
The Rock is... I was only saying it to the missus the other day, like, what a career trajectory he's had when you think of it. He's just been... He's been superb. He's been in duds and he's been in absolute fucking smash hits. Like, and he's just so endearing, isn't he? He managed to, by being a nice guy, by being a seemingly nice guy.
But when he's playing, like, he's essentially playing a 13 or 14-year-old boy, or whatever age the young fella is. But it's the same young fella as in Hereditary. That's why.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he's playing the Rock. He's the Rock playing this boy playing a video game character, and just even the bit where he's looking out going, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry." I fucking nearly wet myself laughing at that. He's fucking class. I have it again. I'm gonna see the new one that comes out on Netflix. It's not something I go to the cinema to see, and the kids wanted to go, but they don't. So I won't go. I'll go watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, but you can't get the kids. Don't be dragging them to a film. That's the worst.
No, they want like obviously they're only with me at the weekend. They go to the cinema during the week, so that's something that they want to go see.
Oh, I see. I beg your
pardon. Yeah. Whereas all the Avengers shits with me. So,
the last, not the last of the films. The second last of the films I want to give a shout out to was George Romero's The Dark Half.
Never saw it.
It's a Eureka Blu-ray which I picked up over Christmas. It's unfortunate that the remaster isn't great in it. It's okay. There's a lot of I was looking her up. The print that they're using is this old print. It seems to be the only one that's available. They really do need to get in and do a new scan or a completely new upgrade of the original source material. But anyway, long story short, the film itself is great. It's based on Stephen King novel. You might have read it actually. The Dark Half. A writer, or an aspiring writer. I think he's a professor and he wants to write books. But out of blue, this other book shows up.
Just because it's about 15% of Stephen King's novels is about a writer who wants to write a book.
But this other book shows up written by somebody else completely, and it's actually him. Just he didn't remember writing.
Sam Neill in it?
No. I can't remember the name of the guy who was in it. But there's another film I did watch and I do want to give a shout out about it. I'm curious actually if you ever saw it. Anyway,
I don't think I've read the book. But go on.
Long story short, you see him at the start. He's a kid. A couple of little tiny little spoilers here, mainly to whet your appetite to watch it. He's having like seizures as a kid, so they get him seen, and he has a operation on his brain. When he went to operate his brain, there's this big huge black spot, like a black infection or something on his brain. And when they go to put the scalpel down to it, like a little bit of flesh moves and his eyeball opens.
Deadly.
It turns out that he had a conjoined twin, but it was grown up here, like in the fucking eyeball and shit. Anyway, long story short, you can tell what's happening now, that he's living two different lives. One is the brother and one is him. And he doesn't know what the brother's doing, but the brother knows everything that's going on, like, and the brother's a fucking lunatic, an absolute psychopath, like, you know. It's really fun. It's just a really well made film, and it's George Romero, like, you know. It's really solid. The script is good. The dialogue is great. The acting is superb. Definitely worth watching. I'm just upset a little bit, but not upset. But the Eureka remaster wasn't amazing on it. It's good. It's a good film. Good horror film.
I watched, going old school here, X-Men, the first one with the kids the other day.
It's a good film. Yeah,
it's a fucking great film. It's so short and
solid,
snappy.
Yeah,
like, I'm looking forward to going through all the X-Men films with them up to the third one. Shy.
Everybody says the third one shy. I don't think it's shy. I don't see it being shy. But now explain to me, because I'm not an X-Men fan. Or I'm not an X-Men fan. I certainly don't know enough about it. Loads of the X-Men dying at the end. I thought that was great. I actually thought that was a great idea, having loads of them getting killed off. But
I'm not against the idea.
Why did you not like X-Men 3?
It's not, like, it's hard to describe. Like, when you look at the second one's brilliant. It has good, strong characters. Like, Nightcrawler is a personal friend of X-Men of mine. Yeah. Brilliant, brought him in. And then you've shit like Vinnie Jones in the last one. Oh, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like, it's just bad. When you look at the Juggernaut saying...
Is that not what the Juggernaut was like?
No, not at all. Like, that's not...
And is Vinnie Jones not the Juggernaut in Deadpool 2?
No.
It's a different Juggernaut?
It's different Juggernaut. It's actually Ryan Reynolds who plays the Juggernaut.
Oh, is it?
In Deadpool 2, yeah.
Right.
But no, it's just bad. It's just shit. And, like, I don't mind the storyline with... like, it brings in X-Men characters like your man Leech. He's the fucking kid who can take the powers away, or they make the cure out of. And then you've got kind of a lot crammed in. We've got that and the Dark Phoenix thing crammed in with Jean Grey. And then you have a lot of X-Men who have shitty powers who just show up for no reason, like the guy who can hug you or kill you if he hugs you with the little spikes coming out of his face. The Porcupine Man. Pointless. The one who can write with no pen. That is literally the worst fucking superpower you could have. It's fucking needless. And then the
it's
other
like
guy,
Meg and Family Guy, do you remember?
The nails.
The nails just grow a bit longer.
That's exactly like that. And then the guy you can hear real well. Like,
okay, but you haven't really touched on. Okay, a couple of pointless characters.
Yeah.
A lot of films can be called out for that. But what's the real reason why it's...
The real reason it's just not as good. It's just not good. Like, it's just not engaging.
Like, is it directed poorly?
It is directed poorly.
The storyline bad?
The storyline is bad because they've jammed together, as I said, two storylines. You've got one storyline with the Dark Phoenix bit and the other storyline with the Mutant Cure, which are two separate storylines in the X-Men universe. Now, it's fine. You want to jam two storylines together. Marvel have done that recently, like with, say, Civil War, which doesn't follow Civil War in the comics whatsoever. It's kind of a couple of different storylines hodgepodge together, but it works. Whereas this doesn't. It's just not that good.
When was the last time you watched it?
It was a good while ago now, but I'm going to watch it again in the next month or
watch
so.
Watch it again. I'd love to hear your opinion on a rewatch, see what you think of it.
I'll probably still.
Because I remember watching it going, to me, it felt a lot on par with number 2. And I remember at the time people giving out about the X-Men being killed off, like Professor X being killed off and so on. And I was saying to them, well, to me, that's kind of cool, like that they were brave enough to do that. In a way that, you know, like they kill Professor X off, but then they end up with like another scene where you could see him, isn't he going into the body of his
twin brother or something.
Twin brother or some shit like that.
Now that follows comic book or whatever, that's fine. And if you want to kill off the whole cast, also fine. Because Days of Future Past killed off most of them at the start of it. And then obviously went back in time and fixed it or whatever. That,
you see, it's
no
funny.
problems with that.
I've no desire to see Days of Future Past or any of the other X-Men films. No.
X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past are very good.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is okay, and I haven't seen the newest one, and I also haven't watched Logan since the last.
Yeah, I've watched Logan, you dickhead. But the funny thing about watching Logan is you watch Logan, like, you know, tearing people asunder with his claws and that one, and then you watch X-Men 2 and it's a bit.
Yeah, but it's
you know,
not. By comparison, you can't compare.
You can.
No, Logan's completely different. Even like I said, watching it with the kids and saying, we watch all of them and watch X-Men Wolverine or X-Men Oranges and X-Men Oranges and the Wolverine and stuff. And I haven't seen the Wolverine because I thought X-Men Oranges Wolverine was dog shit.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's fucking
both of those Wolverine films. The one where he goes to bleed in Japan as well.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's heinous.
But like Logan isn't, as far as I know, a sequel to them. It kind of almost stands on its own.
I think it is. I think it's in a different timeline as well. But, do you know what? Ian would be the man to call us out on that now. To put us straight as to what's going on with that timeline. And it's a curious one, actually.
Stick it on the Facebook because I got a new phone and I can't remember the password for the Twitter and I'm not asking for a new password. That seems like work.
Okay, and that lazy no.
Actually, speaking of X-Men 3, The Last Stand, I went to see the Irish premiere of that.
Yeah.
It was 11 o'clock in the morning in Blanchardstown. It was the Irish premiere of X-Men The Last Stand.
Okay.
I've only been to 2 premieres in my life, or 3, sorry, and 2 of them were underwhelming comic book sequels, and the third one was The Evil Dead.
I went to see Castaway premiere, the Irish premiere in Blanchardstown as well. Believe it or not, yeah. Like Dave Fannin was there and a few other heads were there. But I have a lovely story actually about seeing a Star Wars movie before it was even released in the cinema.
Oh yeah?
Self and my mate Ian, our man Ian, our resident researcher, two of us went to see Dog Soldiers in the cinema.
Oh yeah?
This is years ago.
I went to see that in the cinema as well, but go on.
So we toddled off to see Dog Soldiers knowing that episode 2, Attack of the Clones, was out like next week or something, a couple of days. And 2 of us were really excited about it, like, you know. Anyway, long story short, we went in and we were watching Dog Soldiers and I was lapping up Dog Soldiers big time. And I got to the bit where, if you recall, it does a 360 of the kind of specialist team that are sent in to hunt down the werewolves. Where it's just a 360 of their camp and there's like entrails and guts and lumps of them like all around the place. Yeah. So the werewolves went in and slaughtered them. It's under 360. Next of all, a friend of ours that we used to work with came running into us because he'd sold us tickets. Nice. Lads, do you want to go see a staff screen in the fucking episode 2? We got the reel in literally right now. We were like, fuck yeah. He brought us in.
Dog Soldiers.
No, we didn't care. I was like, out of here, straight in. We got to see episode 2 Attack of the Clones and nobody believed me afterwards. I was like, we got to see it. Like, we were buzzed over. We loved it. Like, a great fun watching it. And we were like, we fucking literally like probably 10 people, or how many people have worked in the cinema got to see it, have gotten to see this film in Ireland right now, like, you know.
All the Star Wars films to see first.
Shut up there. Do you want to get into it? No. Well then, there's no point in calling out just to piss me off.
Just pass a comment. I watch Maleficent. Just happened to be on. Kids were watching it. It's like Game of Thrones.
Oh, what's that? That's Snow White, isn't it? The evil queen.
It's Sleeping Beauty. White. I kept saying Snow White as well.
Sleeping Beauty. Right.
Start of it's interesting. It's an interesting take. It's definitely a film. Stuff moves on the screen. It looks good? Question mark. It's fine. No, never watch it again.
Yeah. Well, so okay. Yeah. Do you know what I'm gonna say to you? Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I don't think she's good looking at all.
Is it the?
Boy, here's a great segue. Angelina Jolie, John Voight watched Runaway Train last night. Again, I've seen it years ago. And
is that on Amazon?
What's his name? I don't know if it is. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it is. Definitely worth a watch.
Eric Roberts,
John Voight and Eric Roberts. Yeah. The two of them. Do you know that film is absolutely superb? Right? I think they got Oscar nods or nominations for their roles. They are brilliant in it, the two of them. And it starts off that, like, for the first 15-20 minutes, it's a really hardcore
porn.
Yeah, porn movie. It's a really hardcore jail movie.
Oh.
Lock up movie, like, you know, it's set in a jail, like a maximum security prison movie. And then they escape, and you have these great scenes then where they've escaped and they're trying to fucking avoid people, and they decide to get into a train. And the introduction of the train, when the train comes along, has this deadly soundtrack. Dun, dun, you see the train coming along the train, it's slowing up in the station, and John Voight looks and he goes, "That's it. That's the ticket out here." Like, you know, and it's all absolutely brilliant. Like, really, like top class filmmaking, acting, dialogue, the whole lot. All the way through until two things happen. There's a girl that works on the train. Her name is Rebecca De Mornay. You know Rebecca De Mornay? You never heard that name? Anyway,
I know the name. She's
and she's terrible in it. And her dialogue pieces, for some reason, are terrible in it as well. Like, really, really bad. And it's kind of distracting because it's been absolutely superior all the way up to the last, say, 40 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
But it's still holding you going because it's been so good.
Sorry, just take this up there, God. That's it in a minute.
And it's progressed and it's really good. And then there's a subplot then about the warden of the jail, of the security prison. He has a real personal vendetta against John Voight's character. So he decides to go out and find out what's going on through the jigs and reels. He finds out that they're on the train. He gets into his helicopter, and the helicopter's kind of following the train. And they know that the train is like on this dead end fucking track. It's going to be lashed off into fucking. They've decided to kind of kill the train to stop it from smashing into a chemical plant and fucking having a chemical plume engulf like part of America or whatever. And from that point on, then it starts to fucking go downhill a little bit for me. And I have to. The film is still great. The film is like a fucking solid 7 out of 10 for me all day long. I have the Arrow Blu-ray at home. It's a great remaster. But the warden decides to send one of his men down a ladder, fucking rope ladder, underneath the helicopter onto the fucking train, like.
Boy.
And for whatever happens, I'll tell you what happens to him. When he slips. Okay, I won't say it.
You've already started. He slips.
Well, I won't. So blah 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 blah. Anyway, through the jigs and reels, the warden decides to fucking come down the ladder, and the warden's hanging on the end of the ladder for a good 10 minutes of the film, I'd say. Well, stuff that's going on with them, and fucking John Voight's going mad. He decides that like they're in this part of the train. They're trying to get to the front of the train, the front engine, where they can stop the train.
It's like Snowpiercer.
But they can't get around it. Like when they open the door of the secondary carriage, there's no walkway to get to the first train.
Yeah.
The main engine. And Eric Roberts.
Tell me what fucking happens there.
No, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, well then, do you know what? Fair enough. I'll say, okay, so from that point on, I won't give that away. Maybe you watch it and we'll come back to it again on the show. Yeah. For anybody else who's watched Runaway Train, you might know what I'm talking about because it's been very realistic up to that point. But it's still a fucking superb film, though. Overall, it's still a great film. But I was only talking to you earlier on, there's these moments of these amazing soundtrack pieces, like when the train shows up, or when they decide to fucking reroute the train into a dead end. The next shot is the train fucking blistering along the track, like, you know, and then you have this real fucking downbeat kind of like strong piece of soundtrack. But then there's moments then where you see that, like just these moments where, say, where the two lads are running across the yard trying to get onto the train. They're just stupid soundtrack, and you go, what the fuck? What the fuck?
It actually started as hardcore porn.
I was actually saying to Kev, I'd love to rescore those scenes, like, and make them more tense, like have a real kind of like a minimalist soundtrack, even like, you know, it would feed into like that cold atmosphere of the film, because the film is set in the snow and everything. It's very cold.
Or alternatively, ukulele.
No.
Oh.
No, you're out with the ukulele.
Oh. But Kev loves it.
It's a fucking ukulele.
I love it.
So that was Runaway Train.
Speaking of films, and I know we've talked about this before, but we're going to do a little segue here that combines a few bits that we've been talking about. Dog Soldiers, Neil Marshall, films that make sense up to a point and are pretty good up till they
become shit.
Completely off the fucking rails.
We've talked about that film before.
Doomsday.
We've talked about it.
Have we?
At length.
But did we talk about it on this or in real?
Yeah, definitely on this. We've had that full discussion. And just to cap it, it's brilliant up until the fucking knights come fucking galloping along on their horses. Like, I mean, what the fuck is this? And as Kev Shields brings, it does have scenes of fantastic grisly gore.
Yeah,
like these great, like horrendous gore scenes and stuff. And like you're all in for that film as well. You know, you're all in for that kind of nonsense. Like, you know, you're going, oh great, we're going to have a kind of silly, gory, kind of silly mashup kind of sci-fi horror movie here, and then it turns into just complete tarp.
Oh, I watched the film last night. Well, it just happened to be on. I didn't really watch it the whole. I did watch the whole way through, but I didn't watch it. If you know what I mean. It was on, And man, does this film look like shit now. It's my left foot.
Oh, Charlie Brown.
Christy Brown, even.
Charlie Brown's Peanuts, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's his life story.
And I suppose for any of our non-Irish listeners, Christy Brown was a man who could only move his left foot. Wasn't it? Or he could talk a little bit as well.
He had cerebral palsy, so he didn't have as much control over his limbs as he should as person.
Was he not all crimpled up?
No, he could move his hands and stuff, but not enough to do something with them, if that makes sense. Right. The only limb he could control to actually do anything with was left foot. Yeah.
Well, he painted like these beautiful pictures and stuff using his left foot.
He became a painter or a writer, a drunkard and an arsehole, basically, in that order. And I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is great. Brenda Fricker's fucking brilliant in it. But it looks shit. Like, just there's grain and like the film looks shit.
I don't mind how it looks. I suppose once it's acted well, but I was only making the point there recently enough that The Commitments and The Snapper, to me, have aged poorly.
The Commitments is incredibly badly acted.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No matter what anyone says. Yeah. Okay.
Musical numbers are great, but that's about it.
Like, they're not actors. Most of them are not actors. Like, Glenn Hansard isn't an actor.
He's barely in The Commitments, though.
He's barely in it. One of the worst lines in The Commitments is actually spoken by one of the Corrs sisters.
Oh, they'd be playing with their willies.
No, not that one. Would you go and shite?
Oh, stop.
First of all, no, you're not from Ballymun. Second of all, just stop. Yeah. And I understand what they were going for, low budget and stuff, grand, but nah, not for me, thanks.
Yeah, and they exaggerated the Dublin accent in it, like.
At times.
And that done me head in. And you're one that the Northern Irish actress, who's actually very good, she's in loads of stuff. Yeah. Including episode 1 of Phantom Menace, believe it or not.
She is, yeah.
She's a pilot in that.
She killed at the start of episode 2, I think.
The start of episode 1.
Is it?
Yeah, they blew up that ship that she was piloting. What's that girl's name? She's absolutely brilliant. Rona Gallagher. And the funny thing is, she actually had a great accent in it. She has a Northern Irish accent. And the ones from Dublin are putting them all on, doing all this. Fucking stop, will you? The same issue with The Snapper as well. Like, I find both of them hard to watch.
I don't remember seeing The Snapper. I remember seeing the other one, The Van.
The Van was poor from the get-go.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I mean, Colin Meaney is just... I saw a Facebook post the other day, and I think it was Waterford Whispers News or someone put up Colin Meaney officially crowned Ireland's Da, which is true because he just gets typecast in these Da roles in all Irish films. Now, obviously, he's in fucking Die Hard 2, and he's in Con Air and shit. Do you know what I mean?
Excuse me?
And Star Trek, of course, yeah.
Chief Engineer O'Brien, I'll have you know.
Yeah, but he's also the pilot in Die Hard 2. He gets killed, yeah.
It's been so long since I saw Die Hard 2.
Yeah. That's when they upgraded John McClane to superhero.
Yeah.
And he's in Con Air.
I don't remember Con Air. Con Air, definitely a one-time watch. And the worst thing is, the two most memorable scenes I have of Con Air is our man Nicolas Cage walking down the aisle of the plane, getting shot in the arm and not even fucking flinching, like an absolute legend. Terrible scene. And the other one, John Malkovich being dragged up like a conveyor belt of blocks and stuff to be lashed into a block mincer thing and just not bothering to move and going into the mincer. Does he go into the mincer, or does he jump off it?
There's moments in that film that I remember and moments I don't.
I remember there's a big shootout in like a graveyard for aircraft. Yeah,
it's a weird one. It's a bit like The Rock, I suppose, and it seems like it's a Michael Bay film, but it's not. Yeah. And it came around the same time as The Rock, Nicolas Cage's action.
There was a couple of them. Like Broken Arrow was out around the same time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see that now, but
I don't know. I'm not into them. I'm not into them. I don't slag, like they have their charm. They're mindless action movies. You know, they do have a charm to them. But
if they're on,
like if I was sitting down, I wouldn't be watching fucking Con Air bleeding face off one of them.
If they're on and I don't want to change the channel and it just happens to be on, I'll sit down and it'll happen in front of me, but I won't pay too much attention to it. There was another film like that. It's one of my kind of not go-to films. One of my go-to films if I want to watch a film without thinking about it too much is The Fugitive. It's a sequel, U.S. Marshals. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, man.
That's a stick on the background film. You know?
Yeah, no. The only thing good in that is Tommy Lee Jones, because I watch Tommy Lee Jones all day long. I think he's great.
It does nothing for me, but I'm not offended by it. Let's put it that way.
They're all meh films. The Fugitive, Air Force One. Fucking,
I really like The Fugitive.
U.S. Marshals. What's the other one? The other Patriot Games, is it?
Never saw that.
Anyway.
No, I like The Fugitive. I only watched Air Force One there not too long ago. I know you can't see me, but
get off my plane.
I'm just kind of. How would you describe the hand motion that I'm doing? Just meh. Just flapping my arms out to the wind there. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much everything I've watched. I've been watching Community with the missus. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. Just
I've seen a bit of it.
Check it out from start to finish. It's on Sky box sets at the moment. Just great. It's 20 minutes.
It's supposed to be good comedy, isn't it?
It's brilliant. 20 minutes. You can blast through 10 episodes in a week, or you can just watch one. You know, it's not like, say, Breaking Bad, where you kind of almost have to remember what happens in the episode before. This, you just watch 20-minute segments.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Good stuff. Going on a little bit to TV shows, but before I do, I just want to note that I put up a picture of the Apocalypse Now 4K box set that I got on Facebook recently. I haven't watched the film yet, although I've seen the film a good few times. I love the film, I think it's great, but I did put it on to check out the remaster in 4K, and it's superb for anybody who might be curious. And that box set I got, it came in from America. It's multi-region, and it has the 3 cuts: the theatrical, the redo or redux, whichever way you want to pronounce that, and also then the final cut. And it has the 3 of them in 4K as well, and then it has the 3 of them on Blu-ray. And then it has the documentary that's almost as good as the film to watch about how it was made and stuff. It's a superb box set, and I have to say I'm really, really impressed with the colour corrections and the detail, and a nice layer of grain on the film itself. It just looks superb.
It's been 10 years since I've seen that film, at least. It's
funny, I was just talking to good man Barry, mentioned that he never got how people didn't like it, and I completely understand that. Because I was never really mad at it myself, because I thought like the bit where they're being bombed and your man was like getting out to do the surfing, and then I thought the bits where they were all stoned out on the boat going down the river for about 5-10 minutes, whatever, was just all real arty wank or whatever, and I never got into it. But when I went to see it in the cinema, I went to see the Redux version or redo version or whatever.
It's Redux. Let's just
Redux. We stick with Redux. I went to see the Redux version in the cinema, and it just fucking blew me away. I thought it was amazing.
Sex isn't pronounced say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't pronounce R-E-D-U-X as redo or redo. I don't know, maybe you can't.
It's Redux.
It gives a shit.
Let's just go. Fox isn't pronounced faux, so we're going with Redux.
And I thought it was brilliant, and I got really into it. And then I watched the documentary, and it really opened up other layers to the film then as well. And then I've seen the final cut, and the final cut's superb as well. So it's a great film. And that actual box set was only $12.
Yeah,
I got it shipped in from America.
It's been 10 years since I've seen it, and my abiding memory of it is that I liked it up until the last 20 minutes, maybe.
I could even kind of somewhat accept that argument, because when it gets to what's his face stoned living in the cave where all his bleeding
Courts,
whatever they are, courts, general courts, or is it Cornell courts? I think it's Cornell courts. Anyway, it just it gets a bit like you could argue, but that's what they were always going to. They knew that he'd gone rogue. He knew that he'd done something. So why not become a junkie? Like, you know.
I can't remember what turned me off the last 20 minutes. It's a bit like Full Metal Jacket, where I think of when I watch the last time I watched Full Metal Jacket, I enjoy it up to the point where the training ends, and then after
when the training ends, it's shy.
Yeah,
it's really weird. Like, you know, it's really weirdly acted. It's very pure. But Apocalypse Now, that looks great, and we'll get back around to reviewing it again, or not reviewing it, but talking about it on the show. After maybe we both watch it or something like that. But I did watch a couple of shows. I watched The Witcher.
What do you think of that?
I loved it.
I don't know the games, don't know the books.
Okay,
don't know anything about the lore.
You can jump into it. There's a couple of things that it would be handy to know. I jumped into whatever playing the game. My only exposure to the storyline was some of the lads talking about playing The Witcher 2 and then The Witcher 3. So I knew some of the characters. I knew the character Yennefer. I kind of knew her backstory a little bit. I knew the rough idea of what was going on in the world, who the Nilfgaardians were, and all that sort of crack. So I kind of had a footing going in. And it would certainly be helpful. But I think Netflix have released an interactive map of the world.
Okay.
And you can have a look and see where each faction is, and you can... What are you making a face for?
That sounds like reading.
Stop there, will you? You can have a look and see which factions are where, and you know, and it makes sense when they're talking about and they're involved in battles and stuff in the show. I thought the show was absolutely superb. I just want to highlight a couple of things in it. I think what's his face is brilliant in it. Henry Cavill is just fucking superb in it. But there's a fight scene. I'm not going to spoil it there in case you do decide to watch it.
Oh, you might. It's
and just keep in mind it flicks back and forward in time as well. So
that's fine. No problems.
I have no problems with it. Seems to be some people whinge about that. It just blows my mind. Anyway, long story short.
Yeah, fuck you, whingers.
Yeah, fuck you, whingers. There's a fight scene in it where he becomes the butcher of Backcliff, I think, or something like that. Anyway, how he gets his name is he literally butchers a bunch of these knackbags who've stood up to him. But the choreography and the editing of that scene blew me away. I've watched it before 5 or 6 times. Just that scene, it's incredible.
I'll check it out.
I loved it, absolutely loved it. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Yeah.
It's quite a talky. It's quite an in-depth. It's very plot heavy. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I don't mind that.
But it's really that's it. The escapism is great. You can really get into it. It's
I'm
great.
going to go back to Game of Thrones here, and I'm not drawing a comparison between that and Game of Thrones. I have no idea if that's anything like Game of Thrones. Don't care really. I'll watch it or I won't.
It's fancy. It's like saying one sci-fi film is like another sci-fi film when it's not.
Yeah, fair enough. But what put me off Game of Thrones originally was, now this is without having watched it when it first came out. I only watched season 5 when it was shown on TV. Season 1 to 4 I watched almost in a couple of weeks.
On the run up to it, you binged it in the road.
Yeah, binged it. Yeah, I watched season 1, 2 and 3 in a day each. But what put me off was I assumed it was all just fucking, in the words of Ian McShane, tits and dragons. I thought, like, this is just fucking proto Lord of the Rings shite here. I like the Lord of the Rings, don't get me wrong, I really like those 3 films, but do I want to see fucking 60 hours of that? Maybe not. But when I actually got into it and gave it a chance, so much more to it, and it's plot heavy, and
it's layered,
the political fucking shite going on in the background, and I enjoy that. Like, so being plot heavy won't put me off.
No,
it's a bit like we were saying about John Wick earlier on, where it's just running from one gunfight to another.
Yeah.
But then again, if that went plot heavy, I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
Probably, yeah. Especially when you sit down looking for like a bit of mindless escapism, like John Wick is your film, but this certainly isn't mindless, and there's a lot to it. I thought they filmed it beautifully. The effects are amazing. The characters, like particularly Gerald's character and the girl who plays Yennefer, are superb in it, and also the girl who plays Yennefer's teacher. I can't remember the character's name, but the actress is superb.
Jessica or fucking something.
No,
I love that fancy name of just taking a name and slightly changing it, like Gerald and Gerard.
They also call Yennefer Yen instead of Jen.
Yenny.
She
put Ernie in it.
But it's great, and it's
I have to find Yenny.
There's a superb song number in it as well. Actually, you've probably seen it spread in Cossatoyne here. Cossatoyne, Jesus Christ. Toss a coin, not Cossatoyne.
Is this like...
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Is this like, again, like Lord of the Rings, where they kind of break the song randomly every now and then?
No. He meets up with a friend, he's a bard. Or he meets up with a guy, he's a bard, and they become friends.
Is it Ed Sheeran?
So the idea of where the Witcher story is coming from is the bard has written the story.
Oh.
And you know, that's
answered my question.
But the bard writes songs and stuff.
Is it Ed Sheeran?
No, it's not fucking Ed Sheeran.
Do you remember Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it was stupid. One of the most annoying things ever. I was like, oh, look at the head and that, chop it off quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that was. I don't like doing that. I don't like shoehorning these really famous people in. It was grand in Star Wars because they had like these cameos as stormtroopers.
Yeah,
you couldn't see them.
Daniel Craig is a stormtrooper. Yeah,
so you couldn't see them. But when it's like this ultra famous person who's not an actor, you go, oh no.
Actually, hang on. I have to say one thing about Community that does that really, really well. It's shoehorned in.
But they're probably doing it as a joke, though. It's like extras.
It's not quite as a joke. Well, like the school's mascot or main patron is the actor Louise Guzman. So they have a statue of Louise Guzman there. But we were watching an episode the other night, and someone famous showed up. I can't remember who it was, but it's not someone you'd expect to see in that series. But it works really, really well. So yeah, that's another one where you're gonna go, oh, that's fucking. I'm not saying Bruce Willis, but like you're gonna say, oh, there's fucking Bruce Willis. What the fuck is he doing here? But it works well.
Deadly. I'm gonna talk about another TV show that on paper, like if I read the description of this, I go, I'll never watch this in a million years. And the title is one of the worst titles to a TV show ever.
Is it Marriage Story, the show?
No, but I assure you this show is absolutely superb.
Yeah.
It's called Ghost Wars.
Ghost.
I know, and when you hear that,
told me about this.
When you hear that, you probably think, I hope we get through to a few people as well, because nobody really talks about this show. But when you hear that title, you think it's going to be some kind of like Most Haunted or one of these reality shows based on ghosts or something.
This is going for a nostalgia thing. This is what do people in their 30s like now? Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Starbusters? No, Ghost Wars. Got it. Nailed it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I'm going to spoil only a little tiny bit of it.
You always say that and then spoil like 3 episodes.
No, I don't. In the hope to whet people's appetites.
Don't spoil any of it. What is it about? Just give a brief description.
Giving you any kind of description will spoil it. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, on paper, I should hate this show. Okay, before I give a spoiler, I'll let you know. First off, it has Meatloaf in it, and he plays like this racist old man, like, this racist old boy who just kind of drinks his beer and has his boys with him down the pub, and they fucking hate outsiders and they hate gays and they hate fucking black people and they hate blah blah blah.
Is this a documentary?
That's the kind of person that Meatloaf plays, but he does a fucking great job.
Sorry, Meatloaf.
Then he has then it has Vincent D'Onofrio in it.
Okay.
He plays a priest in it, and he's brilliant. The rest of them, I think... Oh, it has Kim Coates. That actor Kim Coates. She does a lot of shows. Has a real small mouth. Real kind of futuristic face, like, and real kind of a strong kind of character. He's superb in it.
Oh, he's in...
that gangster show.
No, he's in The Last Boy Scout.
Is he in The Last Boy Scout?
He's in The Last Boy Scout.
I don't recall him in that. Anyway, long story short, there's a bunch of people in it. The main character, I've never seen him in that before. But the very basic plotline goes like this. There is a small town in Anchorage that's kind of cut off from the mainland. There's a bridge linking it. And on the outskirts of the town, there's a hadron collider set up, like a laboratory, and smashing particles together and stuff like that. And they're running an experiment, and an earthquake happens during the experiment.
Bad luck.
So I'm not going to give too much away, but one of the main characters is a psychic. And you know this pretty much from the start, so it's not a big spoiler here. And he can see ghosts, and there's a ghost that regularly shows up, and he's kind of friends with this ghost. But after the earthquake, the ghosts that show up are really fucking horrible, nasty, horrible bastard ghosts. And they want to completely take over
Ghost Town.
Like, you can't even tell what their real goal is, but they basically want to fucking kill people. And how they do it is, some of the ghosts are strong enough to actually interact with you and strangle you and shit like that and do horrible stuff to you.
Like the film Ghost.
Well, come on, let me explain this.
I'm just drawing comparisons.
No, it's not like the fucking film Ghost.
In the film Ghost, the ghost can strangle people.
No, Ghost is the film Ghost is shy. Now, I've said it.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's similar, that they can strangle people.
But
so it's like 30 Days a Night setting. It's like The Mist.
No, stop talking. You don't know anything about it. You don't know. Just stop talking. Oh! It's a good show.
Okay.
The ghosts make you see things, and like you think like there'd be insects crawling, or you're trying to wipe the insects off and you fall off a bridge and fucking impale yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like it goes, it goes like off the charts. It goes literally off the fucking right. It's like the writers just fucking had the absolute crack writing episode after. Like, it starts off slow. There's even an exorcism with a kid in it, which isn't bad. It's really well done. And then it just goes into mad territory. There's stuff happening that you just won't know. But like, the town ends up getting cut off. Like, they can't get out of town. So the bridge gets fucking blown up or collapsed or whatever. And then even when they're trying to get on the boats and stuff, the boats literally go in a straight line and then end up coming back to the town. Like, you know, that's...
Yeah.
And they can't get out. And there's all these little plot lines going on in the background and so on. And Kim Coates is brilliant. Anybody messes with Kim Coates or his sister, he just fucking batters them, sadly. But it goes off the rails. And it turns out that the ghosts can be...
Don't tell. Stop. If I do watch it.
Yeah, you're right. I won't. I hope...
Mild spoilers. I'm going to tell you everything.
I hope... No, I haven't told you even 1% of this fucking show. It's that crazy. But I hope I've whet enough people's appetites to watch this. Now, you have to know before going in that this was cancelled after season 1.
Okay.
It's a fucking sci-fi production, but it's not a bad production. Because anything stamped with sci-fi, I'm instantly put it in the fucking sea immediately and get rid of it.
No, I'm all in.
But this is really, really well done. It's really well acted. It's very well directed. The effects are superb. And as I said, the story, it's like as if they just said, "Here's look, we've been cancelled." Ted, you remember that mad idea you had for cannibalism or something? Let's lash that in. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
It sounds like you just throw shit against the wall and see what sticks.
That's pretty much what they're doing it, yeah. So I hope people will watch this, and I hope that they'll engage us and tell me how fucking brilliant it was.
Do you remember Sci-Fi, the channel, changed their name?
To SYFI, is it?
The word sci-fi to the phonetic saying of the word sci-fi.
Yeah.
Is that because people are idiots, or?
No, it's just a brand change, I'd say. But regardless, I do know they went through a massive change. They were almost gone, and they should have been gone because they were shit.
Well, Croctosaurus versus fucking alligator.
They were all, yeah, exactly. And then some new CEO or head of the company went in and changed it up and put all their money into making those films, knowing that they can sell those films to a fucking market across the world, and they made money off them.
Imagine being the CEO of sci-fi. I'm going to see if I can figure out who it is now. I'm going to get onto his LinkedIn and...
Here, while you're doing it, what time are you at here in this
an hour
show?
Give me, just while I'm doing this, what are you looking forward to this year?
Film-wise?
Yeah.
Oh jeez, you've cut me on the hop here. I'm really, really, really looking forward to 88 Films Dragons Forever Blu-ray. It's 4K restoration that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And with the quality of 88 Films recent output, I'm so excited because they've been fantastic. And Dragons Forever is one of my favourite kung fu movies of all time, and it's definitely my favourite Jackie Chan movie of all time. It's amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. With new films, I'm looking forward to 1917. Gone to see 1917.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah.
Other films am I looking forward to? I'm curious about that Kirsten Stewart fucking one, Underwater. Not because this is going to fail all the... You could probably tell it was going to fail before it even fucking came out, because it's a fucking underwater monster movie with Kirsten Bleeding Stewart in it. Although she's done a great performance in this other film that's come out the same. I can't remember the name of it. But the reason why I'm interested in it is because in the 80s there was a slew of underwater kind of monster movies.
Yeah.
Deep Star 6, Leviathan, The Abyss, Lords of the Deep, amongst a few others. Deep Star 6 is good fun, Leviathan's great crack, and The Abyss is obviously the daddy of them. But they came out in a glut. It was like as if they were all fucking trying to jump on the James Cameron Abyss bandwagon before The Abyss even came out. And they got all these films out. The Rift is another one actually, which isn't too bad. And I loved, as a kid, I loved the idea of the underwater monster. It's kind of a trope that was literally like lived for this real one kind of moment in time, like in the late 80s, and then bang, they were gone.
How many of them are?
There hasn't
good,
been any.
You know?
As I said, Leviathan's great. Deep Star 6 is good crack, and The Abyss is the daddy.
Leviathan's more Peter Weller punches your woman in the face in the end.
That is Leviathan, correct.
I remember seeing that.
What's the name? Colonel Troutman's in it as well.
Seen out of context, Richard
Crenna.
I remember seeing that.
And Miguel Ferrer. No, Miguel Ferrer's in Deep Star 6, isn't he?
I don't know.
Miguel Ferrer's in Deep Star 6.
So, what I'm looking forward to this year, brand new films, is Tenet.
Tenet. 200 million apparently was the budget for that film.
Really?
It's fucking mad.
Like, it's the only thing I can think of right now that is exciting me this year. And 1917 as well. I've been looking forward to seeing that only since I saw the trailers on IMAX. Before that, it didn't really do anything for me. I'm not a big fan of... What's your man's name? Yeah,
well, the new James Bond movie do anything for you?
No. I saw the trailers, it doesn't do anything for me.
What is the story with the baddies in the new fucking James Bond? They're like baddies made by Hasbro. They look like fucking toy baddies with the stupid masks on and stuff. Like,
I don't know, like, I'm not a massive James Bond fan by
nor am I.
Any stretch of the imagination. The only James Bond film I can honestly say, there's two actually I can honestly say I really, really enjoyed. That was GoldenEye, Casino Royale. The rest of them, they're alright.
GoldenEye's alright, but Casino Royale blew me away, and Quantum of Solace blew me away because it's basically a continuation of GoldenEye Casino Royale. But come here, I'm really excited about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
I thought that was superb, but I'm really excited then about Quiet Place Part 2.
I'm not as excited
because you haven't seen A Quiet Place.
No, I've seen A Quiet Place. I fucking loved it. I just don't think that it needs a sequel.
It's the full crew. Everybody's gone back into it.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm all in for it.
It's a film that didn't need a sequel for me, and I'll go in and I'll watch it and I'll go, oh, that's fucking brilliant, and I'll stand corrected.
One that's really exciting me.
What?
Dennis Villeneuve, June even.
When's it going to be released?
I think even if the film is shit,
that released in June?
Even if the script is shit, even if the directing is shit, it's going to be glorious to look at.
Is that released in June or July?
Oh God, you're just fucking terrible, gag today, dude. Terrible. What about Bad Boys 3? Is it?
No,
I'm not a Bad Boys fan either.
I would literally rather chew my bollocks off.
Or about the second Top Gun?
I'll see that, but only for novelty factor. I won't pay money to see it. Wait till it's on Netflix. I'll get drunk and watch it topless with my friends.
Yeah, fair enough. It's going through a few more here. Hold on a sec. Antlers looks interesting, actually. Have you seen that one?
Antlers?
Like a monster with Guillermo del Toro, I think has something to do with it. Is it Guillermo del Toro?
Never heard of it.
I think it's Guillermo del Toro. I'm just looking her up now. No, director Scott Hooper.
Never heard of it.
I thought Guillermo del Toro had something to do with that.
Looking forward, obviously, to...
Oh, it is produced by Guillermo del Toro and David S. Goyer as well.
I'm looking forward to the 2 Marvel films, obviously, this year, whatever they are.
Yeah, that's...
Black Widow and the Eternals.
That's what I said to you, what about Black Widow?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I think I did.
No, I don't think you did.
A sequel to the Halloween remake.
I enjoyed that Halloween remake.
It's alright.
No,
it's just alright.
10 times better. It's 10 times better than any other Michael Myers based Halloween film.
I disagree. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as all fucking slasher films. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. Jamie Lee Curtis was great in it.
Yeah. And
I did love the scene. You know the scene where the daughter says, "Oh, help me, mom, help me," and fucking the main man shows up. He goes, "Gotcha!" I thought that was great because I turned that bit on its head, and I wasn't expecting that. And the way she said "gotcha" and just fucking took a headshot, I thought it was class.
Again, probably doesn't need a sequel though. I'll see it, but I won't go out of my way. What's next?
What do you think it doesn't need a sequel? We have fucking 79 Halloween movies.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need a sequel. What's next?
I'm just looking at new films. Hold on. The Conjuring 3. No interest in ghosty films at all.
Apart from
the New Mutants.
I'll probably watch it, but yeah.
There's that underwater, and the thing that's annoying about that underwater one as well is it's PG-13. Make it R-rated, make it gory, make it really like a really fucking hard fucking monster gory horror movie. Please, somebody please make that, please.
Yeah, we're looking at you, James Cameron. Get your shit together. Get out of your fucking submarine and make a film.
Or if we could get a fucking what's the name who directed the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, James Gunn.
I would have great faith in him making a hard R-rated monster movie.
Yeah, but he won't.
Morbius.
Is that the living vampire?
The Purge fight, yeah. And you know who's in that, don't you?
Yeah, Jared Leto.
Yeah. Instantly. No, thanks.
Yeah.
No, fuck you, Jared Leto, you knob. The Purge 5.
Oh, absolutely. If I have to watch the other 4 before, then I'm not doing it.
Do you watch the Purge movies?
No.
Purge 2 is class. I love the Purge 2. Yeah, it's great. And you know your man's in it. He was in one of the Marvel ones. Not End War, Infinity War. I think. You know, when all the fellas are with Cap in the lift and it's going down.
Oh yeah, I know your man. Yeah, he's Crossbones.
Is that his name?
Crossbones, yeah.
That's right, because he comes back in it, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's in.
He turns back to a goodie again, doesn't he? Is it Civil War he's in?
He's in Civil War, yeah.
Doesn't he turn back to a goodie again? He doesn't.
He's in Winter Soldier, the Civil War.
Right, okay. I thought he turned back to a goodie.
In the comics, he killed Captain America, which is what they reckon was going to happen in Endgame.
I see.
But no, you're giving that a miss.
Well, we don't. Let's not just do horror films. Excuse me.
Are you just looking through IMDb's what's coming up this year page?
No, just googling it.
Alright.
The new Wonder Woman, not really interested. Sonic movie, no interest.
Did you see the difference in the trailers between them?
I know it's like, chalk and cheese.
Fuck me.
Do a little bit fucking Robbie Downey Jr. is an absolute hard pass for me. Thanks very much.
Oh, definitely be watching that.
Huh?
Definitely be watching that. That's like something the kids will want to watch, and I'll watch it at some stage, and I might be surprised by it. Like that Jumanji film. I thought that Jumanji film was going to be shit. It's fucking far superior to the original. But go on anyway.
So The Colour Out of Space is coming out as well.
Oh, that's the Nicolas Cage one.
Yeah, directed by the fella who directed Dust Devil and Hardware. What's his name? He's renowned for directing real atmospheric films, and both Dust Devil and Hardware have atmosphere in abundance. They're great. So the idea of him doing a Lovecraft film is really interesting. Now it was shown at the Horrorthon, and a couple of people have seen it. And it's been getting kind of like, 2 out of 4, fucking 2.5 out of 4, kind of, again, giving stars and things that,
our rating system, Joe. But 7 Joes, 2 Derricks, and 3 cups of coffee.
But that's going. I'm interested in that. That's coming out. So I'm interested in that one. Right. February. Birds of Prey. Absolutely no way and hope and hell for me. Thanks very much.
We're getting a lot of dead air here.
The Invisible Man. I believe The Invisible Man is supposed to be an R-rated movie.
I don't know, we'll see. We're going to have to call this quits now.
Well, we can get back to it, I suppose.
Yeah,
it looks like it's a new monster movie, and it looks unsettling. I haven't watched the trailer. Quiet Place Part 2, I'm really excited by. That and Ghostbusters, I think, are what make me most excited.
I'm not excited about Quiet Place Part 2, but
I don't care that you're not excited about Quiet Place. I don't care.
I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it.
I don't care. I don't care about you.
I
don't care about fucking the face of you.
You should care.
The new Candyman is in June. By all accounts.
Watch that, yeah.
On Minions, The Rise of Gru.
Oh, class. What's it called?
That's a film I watched over I don't know if I mentioned it. Moana.
Oh yeah, you were saying it's brilliant.
It's superb, absolutely superb.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I must check it out. I like the Inside
So
Out. That was Pixar.
Tenet is July.
Yeah, Tenet's. That is July. Oh wait, that was Dune. No.
Very poor. Bill and Ted Face the Music in August.
I'll probably watch that, yeah. Is that another sentimental fucking nostalgia trip?
Could be. I'll
Is
still
but is
definitely watch it
Ghostbusters-
because the other. Well, in fairness, the trailer for Ghostbusters really does make it sentimental in a lovely way.
Yeah.
It seems to make it in a lovely way.
Is it just Stranger Things?
While being new.
Is it just Stranger Things with Ghostbusters? Who knows?
Godzilla vs Kong is due for November 20th. I'll be all in for that.
I haven't seen King of the Monsters.
And then
Skull
December,
Island's fucking
December, June, coming to America 2.
What? Why?
Sorry, there, I didn't read the subtitles there. What you say?
I said, what? Why?
Do you not know he's in a sequel?
No.
Eddie Murphy's in the bounce back here at the minute, so he is.
I heard that Dolomite Is My Name. It's
supposed to be
superb.
great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. Right, what are you listening to at the minute?
At the moment, I'm working my way through Cold Chisel's back catalogue.
Cold Chisels?
Cold Chisel. Imagine AC/DC. They're an Australian band, right?
Okay.
Imagine AC/DC, except for their songs all sound different. That's Cold Chisel. No, they're real good. Check them out.
I am listening to Matthew Logan Vasquez's album Solicitor Returns. Matthew Logan Vasquez is a lead singer from Delta Spirit, who done that very famous song California. There a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago maybe. But Matthew Logan Vasquez.
California.
No, it's not that at all. But look up Delta Spirit California. It's a great song. But then also look into Matthew Logan Vasquez. If you want to look up a really cool song, it's Everything Is Out, or it's Personal.
Okay.
2 superb tracks. But that whole album, Solicitor Returns, is excellent.
You told me about that, and I have it saved in my albums for fucking ages. Still haven't listened to it.
I should give it a
I will.
listen to. You'll like it.
Once I'm through Cold
He's superb.
Chisel's back catalogue, I'll definitely get on that shit.
Right, and
Are you going to watch it tonight?
On that now. Am I going to watch it tonight? I don't know. I hadn't planned on watching anything. I really want to go back to the Suspiria remake.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it a remake. The newer Suspiria film.
Remaster.
I have the 4K. No, it's like it's a
Relaunch.
I have the 4K. Actually, if you come around to pick up Upgrade, I can give you the original Suspiria to watch as well.
Alright.
But I really want to watch that. So I don't know. I might jump into that tonight.
Yeah, I've a nice easy week this week. I'm not leaving the country at all, which is strange. So I'll watch a couple of films this week. Report back in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
Are we definitely doing this
2 weeks?
fortnightly thing?
2 weeks is the best.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Unless we have a special to do, or we have something else that we can do.
Exactly. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Or we find a bit. You see, it's hard.
And I think we'll be getting guests on again.
Yeah. Sexy.
Kev,
guests.
Paul Downey.
Oh, don't say Paul Downey's name out loud. He appears.
if you say it 3 times in the mirror, he shows up. And he shows up and he doesn't kill you or anything. He just hangs around your gaff and doesn't go away.
Drinking cans and shit.
You're drinking cans and eating all your sausages raw.
Ugh. Right, we're out.
Out of here.
How to turn this fucking thing on?